why are we all doing this? Evan asked when we first met him. He said, "Come on, then what's the problem?" Well, the problem is that over the past 25 to 30 years, I was amazed by this, but the Bedford Group Consulting actually analysed it, the data, and it says 7.2 was the average agency, client or creative agency, relationship with their client. It's now around 3. So it's dropped by over a half in 25 years. If that's the sort of problem, but we all sort of know this, we all know that the better the relationship, in fact, sometimes the longer the relationship, the better outcome, the better work for all. And this is just one example. I could have used hundreds from the IPA data bank, but VW and DDB, I think it's 63 years and counting, have worked together. And I think we all know, I mean, the ultimate is they have 3 cars in the top 10 list of best-selling cars of all time. They are, I think, the highest IPA effectiveness awards winners across that period. And it's sort of, we sort of all innately know this, but we chop and change too much. The cost of pitching. On the left-hand side, not only to the agencies, but to clients. The agencies, this is from IPA ISBA, a survey a few years ago, but it's still very relevant today, is the average cost of a pitch for a large agency, believe it or not, is £178,000. And that's in terms of their time, if you actually valued the time, as well as their external costs. And to £65,000 to a small agency, the average cost to them. Not only does it cost agencies money, but it costs clients money. Now, ISBA found it's roughly £32,000 it costs a client to get involved in the pitch, let alone what David Magliano says there, how it takes 6 to 9 months for an agency to come up to speed, to really understand the client's business, to be able to deliver commercial creativity. So, but we all do this. We all go a bit pitch-tastic. And it's really interesting. The intermediaries are now more and more pushing for less pitching and more relationships and better relationships. So that's something I want to continue pushing on. Now, I was asked to sort of come up with a provocation. And I've used one from 50 years ago, but also that's very relevant to today, is Ogilvy, 50 years ago in his famous book, Confessions of an Ad Man, said clients get the advertising they deserve. And he had 10 of the 14 chapters were about managing a relationship. And most of it, he thought, and I suppose he's an agency man, he would say this, lay at the door of the client. But interestingly, Jonathan Mildenhall, who I'm sure most of you know, who was Marketeer of the Year at Cannes this year, he agrees, is how clients can really drive the relationship. Obviously, both are parties to it, but it's very much about the clients driving it. And it's not just opinion, there's fact behind this. Appraise, who manage agency-client relationships, and over the last decade, they've got 10,000 case studies. And what they've found is that there are 4 key drivers of a successful relationship between clients and agencies, which revolve around approvals, timings, approval processes and behaviours. And what they looked at was sort of bad performing client-agency relationships and good performing. And they found that the creative output or the effectiveness of the work is 37% higher between the two for creative agencies and 21% for media agencies. So today is about looking at how to go from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. And the other key point that clients say a lot, as we're more and more in a world of fragmented media, it's more complicated out there, is multiple agency relationships. And that is a key thing that clients find tricky, is agencies collaborating with each other. Now, it's not surprising, we're all a competitive lot. And if we're going to diversify, we're all going to sort of mould slightly into each other. So, but I think what's really important is not whether it should be working, is how to make this work better, again, for the benefit of all.